I'm Genevieve Lane, and this is my mom, Deirdre Lane. You have to sit down. Okay. This is my mom, Deirdre Lane, so she will be helping me go through the exercises. So the first exercise we're going to go through is called hip crossover stretch. So you're going to start lying supine, so on your back. You can lie. Maybe just turn a little this way. Yeah. So start lying supine on your back, and then bring your feet bring your legs up into about a 45-degree angle, and then bring your arms out to a 90-degree angle with your palms down. Up just a little bit, and then take your legs should be about hip width apart, or your feet should be, and your legs. And then take your right ankle and bring it over your left knee. And then you're going to just rotate your leg down over to the ground. And then as you hold this, you should be pressing out with this knee, and try to make the motion of pressing out come from your hip joint. Mm-hmm. Press out your knee, and then turn your head and lift the other way, opposite of your legs. And you're going to, so that way. That's opposite way of the way that your legs are going. Okay. And then, so as you're continuing to press out with this knee, you're going to hold this for a minute.
Believe it or not, I am continuing to press out.
So you're going to hold this for a minute, and then when that minute is up, you're going to come back to the starting position. Bring your legs back up to the starting position.
No?
Nah. And put this leg down, and then bring your left ankle over your right, and then go the other way. And then continue to press and try to initiate the motion from your hip. And that is the hip crossover stretch with palms down. So the next exercise we're going to do is crocodile. So you start in the supine position on the ground. Maybe just move slightly over so that you can keep your arms straight out. And you put your arms at 90-degree angles with your palms down. And then you're going to have your legs hip width apart, so a little bit further out. Yeah, that's good. And you're going to flex your feet and spread your toes, and then stack your right Achilles over in between the second and third toe, so on top, right like that. And now you're going to contract your quads and your glutes in both legs, and then you're going to shift. Yeah, that's fine. No. Try to keeping your shoulders on the ground. You try to turn over to your left and try to stack both hips, but don't come off the ground. Just twist as much as you can.
As far as it goes.
Yep. And then turn your head toward the left. So we're going to hold this for a minute while keeping your legs and your quads and your glutes contracted, and we hold this for a minute. So this is the proper position. And then after that minute, you're going to come back to the starting position, and then bring your other Achilles, your left Achilles over your right foot, and then rotate your legs towards the other way, and turn your head towards the left, keeping your legs and your glutes contracted, and keeping your shoulders on the ground. Rotate as much as you can. The goal is to stack your hips on top of each other, but don't compromise the upper position. You're doing it right.
I have a cramp.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay, but I was saying don't compromise the upper position just to stack your hips.
I had to move out of it. Between the phones, both phones going nuts. Oh, my
quads and your glutes contracted, and look toward the left. So this is crocodile. So our next exercise is standing windmill. So we're going to start up, standing up against the wall, in a standing position up against the wall. And you're gonna have your feet hip width apart, so right about there, and maybe come over just a little bit because you're gonna have your arms straight out 90 degrees. So I don't want you to hit this, so that's fine. So maybe just a little bit further apart, about like 4 inches. Yeah, that's good.
What are you implying? That my hips are big?
No, that your feet what? No. Anyway, your feet pointed straight ahead. And your legs hip width apart, arms up 90 degrees, and then you're going to slowly tick over toward the right, as far as you can. That's fine. And then come back up to the start position, and then over toward the other way. So that counts as 1 repetition. So now we're going to do it 5 more times, and have your head and shoulders and head, shoulders, hips up against the wall. And as you tick over toward the left and right, don't let your head or your shoulders or hips come up off the wall. So after you have done 5, now we come up to this start position, so that's the end of that 1 repetition. And now go apart about 2 feet. Still, feet straight ahead, and your hips, shoulders, and head up against the wall, your arms up against the wall at 90 degrees. And now you're going to tick over toward the left and up to the start, and then to the other side. And that's 1, so you're going to do this 5 times. And now you come up from the beginning. Now go to 3 feet apart. And you're going to do the same thing. So feet ahead, straight ahead, hips, shoulders, and head up against the wall. And tick over to the left, the center, and the right. And then, now you're going to come back to the start position. So hip width apart, about 4 inches. And now come up again, same thing, feet straight, hips, shoulders, head against the wall, and then tick over to the left, center, right, and that's 1 repetition, and we'll do that 5 times.
I'm not doing it 5 times.
Okay. But 5 times is what the exercise calls for.
Okay.
So our next exercise is standing arm circles. So you're going to come out into the floor, and your feet are going to be straight ahead and then hip width apart. And you're going to bring your arms out to 90 degrees. And we'll actually come back. We're going to do, your hands have to be in a golfer's grip. So you curl your fingers toward the top of the pad of your hands, the tips of your fingers toward the top of the pad, and then your thumb out. So you're going to start with your hands by your side and then bring your arms up to 90 degrees, holding that grip. And then you're going to move forward. You're going to make circles forward about the size of a 6-inch dinner plate, and make it go like equally distant forward and back circle. Make sure your arms aren't like coming forward doing them. You don't want them to stay. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
That's good. And then, so you do 40 forward, and then you're going to flip your hands over, flip your thumbs toward the back, and do 40 backward. And you're going to notice some isolation in your body as you're doing the circles.
Yeah.
And you want to try to bring your shoulder blades, squeeze your shoulder blades together as you're doing the circles forward and back. So 40 on each side, and bring your shoulder blades together will help your arms stay in the right plane. So stay back so that they're not crouching forward during the motion. So our next exercise is static extension position. So we're going to start out on our hands and knees. And make sure your wrists are right below your shoulders. Yep. And your knees are below your hips. And your feet.
My hips.
Yeah, knees like right below, right in line with your hips. And your knees are hip width apart. So that should be good. Yeah, a little bit closer. That's good. And then your feet are in the right position. They're in a plantar flexion position. And now you're going to take your one hand, and move it 6 inches ahead. Move it 6 inches forward, a little bit back, then a little bit back. So 6 inches forward.
Oh, from there.
Yeah. And then you're going to take your other hand and meet that hand 6 inches forward. And now you're going to shift your weight so that your shoulders are again stacked right over your wrists, so like that. And now you're going to relax your shoulder blades and let your shoulder blades come together, squeeze together, and relax your lumbar spine, so your lower back. Relax all through here. And then you are going to let your head relax forward. So you're going to stay in this position.
It's not very relaxing.
Yes, so you're going to move back to right there. Yep. You're going to stay in this position for 2 minutes. And you should feel extension all through here, all through your back, your lower back kind of extending up. And this is to promote lumbar and thoracic extension. And
has it been 2 minutes?
Nope, this is static extension position. You're done. So our next exercise is called upper spinal floor twist. So we're going to start laying on your back.
Supine?
Yes, supine on your back. And maybe just scooch a little bit towards me so that you don't hit that. And you're going to you're going to move to what they call a supported fetal position. So you're going to move toward your right and meet your arms over. And bring your knees to make a 90-degree angle with your knees and your feet. Yep, 90 degrees. And make sure your shoulders are still stacked. So move a little bit. Yep. And then, so you want to envision your shoulders being stacked and your hips being stacked. And then move your knees up a little bit toward you. And now, and your head stays like that. So now you're going to take your right hand and open it up toward the back wall, and you're going to move your head with that hand to look. But as you do that, as you're opening, make sure that your knee stays stacked. So you just open up as much as you can without moving this bottom section. And then if it's easier, bring your knees up closer towards your chest. And then you can move this hand and hold on to your knees as support to kind of keep them in line. And try to look toward the wall. And you hold this for a minute, and then when you're done, come back toward the start position, meet your hands, and then you're going to turn over toward the other side, your whole body, flip over to the other side to do that same thing on your right side. So, have your shoulders stacked, hips stacked, move your knees up a little bit more towards your chest, and make this a 90-degree angle like that. And now you're going to open your hands like you did last time. Your left hand moves over and your head follows. Tries to look in that position. And make sure your knees stay stacked. Don't compromise your knees. So, yep, like that. And then, if it's easier, move your knees towards your chest. Yep, and rest your hand on there.
It's not very comfortable.
Okay. And then at the end, now after another minute, come back to the start position. To move, come back to that position and then come back onto your back. And that's how you can comfortably get out. So the next exercise we're going to do is called assisted hip lift. So we're going to start lying on our back, but we're going to come up against the wall. So turn and have your feet, you're going to have your feet up against the wall. And you're going to make a 90-degree angle with your feet against the wall. Bring it down just a little bit. And then you're going to have your hands out 90 degrees. And you're going to have your feet hip width apart. So a little bit, that's good.
My hips are small.
Okay. So, and then you're going to take your right ankle and cross it over your left knee. And as you're here, so when you come to this position, now you're going to press your right knee out towards the wall and try to initiate that movement from your hip socket. And you're going to stay here for a minute and just continue to press out with that knee from the hip. So you're going to stay here for a minute, and then after that minute has passed, you're going to bring your foot back to the wall. And then you're going to cross your left ankle over your right knee and do the same thing. Initiate the movement from the hip and press that knee out toward the wall. And then stay here for a minute. And that is assisted hip lift. So our next exercise is downward dog. So we're going to start in the hands, on the hands and knees, and our wrists and shoulders stacked, and our knees and hips stacked. And make sure your knees and feet are hip width apart, so that looks good. And now you're going to tuck your toes under, and you're going to have rise your pelvis toward the ceiling. And the goal is to put your heels on the ground. But if that's difficult, then you can bend your knees to make it easier. And then you're going to try to relax through there and push your chest as close to your thighs as possible. And try to tighten your quads while you're doing this. And then you're going to hold this for 1 minute and then come back and let your head just hang in the middle and relax. And the goal is to get extension through your back. You're going to try to tilt your pelvis forward so that you can get almost a curve in your lower back. So hold this for a minute, and that is downward dog. So our next exercise is called supine foot circles and flexes, or foot circles and point and flexes. So we're going
to get to lay down.
Yes. So you're going to lay down in a supine position on your back and put your feet flat on the ground. And then bring one of your legs. I know, one side. You're going to bring up one of your legs, bring up your knee to your chest, and wrap your hands underneath. Grab your thigh. Yeah. And you want to keep your hips flat on the ground. And you are going to, so you either put, if you can stretch out your leg, you can have it at 90 degrees. You can have it at 90 degrees this way.
Yeah.
But the most important part is that your shin stays parallel to the floor, so that's good. But if that position, if bringing it at 90 degrees is pulling your shoulders off the ground, then pull it a little bit forward toward your chest until your shoulders can rest on the ground.
I thought they were. They are on the
Yep.
ground.
Until, yeah, just your
My shoulder
Yep.
blade.
Okay, so from this, just bring your leg up a little bit. Yep, and then you're going to tighten you're going to bring your toes so that they're just straight up and looking at the ceiling.
My toes are looking
Yes,
at the
your
ceiling.
toes are looking at the ceiling. Your toes are pointed straight up at the ceiling. Okay, so from this position, you're going to go clockwise. You're going to take your foot and make circles clockwise and try to initiate all the movement from your ankle and not your knee. So you do 40 circles to clockwise, then 40 circles counterclockwise.
How about 20 and 20?
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to switch. And then, so again, make sure the movement is coming from your ankle, which it looks good. And keep your shin parallel to the ground, so maybe rise it a little. Yeah,
I
that's
have
good.
a hard time. I can't tell what my body looks
I
like.
know. That's why I'm helping you. And make sure your toes are looking at the ceiling. Your toes are pointed at the ceiling. That's good. And now, once you're done, try to keep that, yeah. Once you're done with those, now you're going to flex and point your foot. Again, the motion coming from your ankle, not from your knee. And you do 40 point and flexes. And then once you're done with that, you're going to bring your leg back down to the ground and do the same with your left leg. Same thing. So the purpose of this exercise is to use the muscles or activate the muscles in your lower legs and in your ankles so that it's stable for the rest of everything to stack on top. So you're going to bring your leg down just a little bit and make sure, and then you're going to do the circles clockwise and then 40.
This was clockwise.
Okay, I know. I'm just explaining because I need to explain.
Clockwise. That wasn't clockwise.
I know. I made a mistake. So I'm explaining for this video. I'm not saying that you're dumb. Anyway, so you're going to do it clockwise, then counterclockwise. 40 repetitions.
And originate the motion from my ankle, not
Yes.
my knee.
Yes, initiate the motion. So,
My other toes need to be looking at the
Yep.
ceiling.
and your other leg, make sure that your toes are pointed straight up at the ceiling. Move them just a little bit. Yep. And then bring your leg down just a little bit. Yeah, that's good. And you're going to do, after you've done 40 of those, you're going to do 40 point and flexes. You can do them now.
That's 20.
Okay.
And I'm doing point and flexes.
Yeah.
I'm doing an abbreviated one.
I know.
Sorry. It'll
So-
take too long.
And make sure when you point, you're pointing your toes. And when you flex, you're flexing your toes.
This is tiring.
Yeah. So, our last exercise is air bench.
Yay.
So, we're going to
love
start.
air bench.
we're going to start standing in a standing position up against the wall, with your back up against the wall. And you're going to have your head, shoulders, hips, and ankles up against the wall. And now you're going to slowly, as you walk your feet forward slightly, you're going to slide your upper body down. So keep sliding down and walking forward until you get to about a 90-degree angle, right about there. And then you're going to shift your weight into your heels. And you're going to actively press your lower back into the wall. So it's okay if your shoulders come off the wall a little bit. Just make sure that your back is actively being pressed into the wall. And you're going to hold this for 2 minutes, or as long as you can. And your arms can stay by your side, or they can rest on top of your quads, on top of your thighs if you would like. And make sure the weight is staying and your heels and your feet are hip width apart, which they are. And this is a bench.